All right, you guys, we're coming to you from a different spot. We're just outside. I want to show you kind of the difference between the different wheels that we've tried out with our Redcat Ascent-18, the Apex. And so we're going to flip this back around and show you just a little bit of what we've got going on with the wheel sets. So we're going to show you why it gives it this really nice and tight track width here and narrows the truck up, which is pretty sweet. And it may rub a little, but you can see it doesn't. I'm not really pushing much with it, just even the outside here. I still have, decent. The back's a little bit more, but when you look at it, it's so close, and being plastic, it'll just wear that in. It's not bad. It's still freely spinning, and whatever little bit there is, it also could be that I just tightened it down. The biggest problem with these TCRC wheels right here is getting a wrench in there to get them on and off. So I end up using needle nose pliers to get it the rest of the way. All right, we're gonna flip the camera around and get a quick look here. All right, so my goal here was to get out and run, which is why we're outside. I was just gonna do this quickly and get a little bit of run footage with it. We're losing light pretty quick. I just did one of my members' videos, and so we're a little bit behind as far as that goes. And let's see, is this the right one? Oh, that's too big. How did I mix up all of my tools? All right, here we go. This is the right one. So I can't get this in here and take this off. So what I ended up having to do is just use needle nose to kind of start spinning it. And I've got these really tight ones from Harbor Freight that my buddy Travis gave to me. And just get them started, get it spinning off of here. So it does slow things down a little bit. Sometimes I'll just pick up the truck and hold it so I can just spin it like on this kind of angle, and it's a little easier. That might be enough though to do the rest. Anyway, there we go. We're getting it off. All right, so here's what we want to show you guys. All right, so here is what all of this was about, was to show you these different wheel sets and the difference. So people saw this and like, oh, you've got your wheels on backwards, because they saw this. This is normally the inner part of the Enduro wheel right there. So it's normally on the inside, so you'd see your wheel like that. This hex would be on the other side, which would be way back here, and it would give you this really crazy standoff. If this were mounted on here, it would be way out here, versus the way that we have this set up, it'll suck it in and help it to cover up over that a little bit more. So the difference is that we're trying to get is that positive offset to narrow the track width because of the gates that we're running. Well, what I saw was, and what I wished was, when I had this apart, that I could put this ring on the outside of this bead and make it hold in. That would have been amazing, because it would have even pushed this out even further. You can see it's still in there a couple millimeters, 2 to 3. This one, however, on the TCRC, is the ring, the whole outer part here, the bead. So that's the one thing with this, is it doesn't have that face. It's all one piece. It's your outer part of your bead, or this is right here. So depending on the way you want it. Now, if we were to mount this tire like this, the way that they would sell it to you, it would push you way off. You can see how far off that sits off the axle. Way different than the other side, where the way we have it, it tucks and it covers up over the axle versus sticking way off it. Big difference. You can really see it there, like at an angle like this, how much it covers over. So that's why we get this. So they sell it to look like this, and you get this nice purple and different cool stuff you could get. Well, we flip that so that's all on the inside, and we run it this way to really suck the wheel over the axle. That's the issue that we had with these stock wheels on here, is the way that the dish is on this. Your hex is way at the far side of the wheel, which again pushes it off the axle there. And we want it to be, I mean, if I could, I'd go like this and cover over it more. But the difference between it being way out here on this outside and way tucked in on the inside like this is that track width. We've shaved off probably 8 millimeters or so. It's hard to know because I didn't measure these stock wheels, but I saw that the difference even between this one, which we've already flipped it to be internal to a certain degree. You can see it's inside there instead of being on the outside. Even just changing between these ones and this TCRC has gained me about 5 millimeters in that range. It's hard to tell with these tires and, you know, just kind of going over the top with calipers, but there's a significant advantage to these. Now they sit very, very close. Whether they're on or not is to be debated, because I feel like even with me pushing against the top here, it's loose. I think that the tightness that I had is because I was tightening it down with the needle nose pliers and trying to keep it from spinning. So there you guys have it. You do lose a little bit of steering, I guess. You don't really lose it. The problem is that you do hit your shocks, but I don't think it's going to be detrimental. I think it's just going to roll right across it and be fine. So that's one of the questions people have. I think it'll work. But also, I wouldn't do this. If I wasn't using it for comps where we have gates set, I wouldn't worry about it. I still would probably do the Endurers, and I would still flip them like I had them. Like these ones, because I like the look of this gold and this silver. And I do like the look of the truck with a more narrow offset as well. Or more narrow track width. I do like that look better. So I would still choose to do that just from an aesthetic point. And I used it with these Klingon tires and with these yellow Endura anti-foams inserts. It did really good. So I would probably do that anyway. Although I think the stock tire is a pretty good performer. I would like to try it with the insert change and the wheel change, but use their tires, which is actually what I bought this to try and do. Honestly, is I bought these wheels to run a second set of tires and see the difference. But in the end, I did steal the brass rings. So the rings on the inside, these are the TCRC rings on the, I switched them because I wanted the weight of the brass. And so these don't come with the brass. They sell brass ones, TCRC does, but they are the same size as the Endura 1.3 ones. And so I just did that. And that was just saved me some money and to make sure that I liked it before I went in and invested in a whole nother set. So let's just get this on the rocks and we'll show you just a little bit of it running. I'm not gonna, whoops, I gotta turn the radio on. That's why it's beeping. There it went. So we'll still get tons of steering on this. Yeah. Still a ton. You see, it does spin, even though it's like binding a little. But there it rubs maybe the front of the body even a little bit, but it's not when it's fully, it's not stopping it. So we're gonna give it a go. We are losing our light, but look at how pretty it's getting here, which does mean we have a lot of leaves falling as well. So we're gonna have them on the course here, because I did not get out and do anything about it. All right, we're just giving it a go. This is the only truck I have that can make it up this. And even it struggles. I give it a little bounce. So much steering. This thing has a bit more throttle at the beginning than I'm used to. I know some people told me to learn how to drive and be smooth and all that. I'm just getting used to how this hobby wing works. I've used Furatech for so long that it's getting used to this new system. It's very, very punchy, pretty quick. Oh, I thought I had that. So, like, again, I think that certain things the narrow offset's going to be, or narrow track width is going to be good for, especially with our comps and the gates clearances. But there's also times where you're like, man, I wish I had that width to really stretch across this. So again, it depends. If you're comping, you're going to have different needs than people that are just out hitting trails. This stuff, look at how this rock is just sitting up on this dirt, this clay. This used to be buried. We're going to be going in, I think, this probably this spring. I'm just going to skip it. We're losing light. This spring, and we'll probably reset all of these rocks, and then we'll add some cement to the top layer just to hold it all together and not have it wash away. So I won't do a lot because I don't want it to be so super permanent, but we'll do enough that it'll kind of have a shell on the outside of the clay and help a little bit with this erosion that we're having. That was super cool. Still, the most capable mini crawler I have right here, I would say. And the only changes we've made to it are wheels and tires and metal drive shafts, which is more of just a structural thing than it is a performance enhancement. It just is to keep it from popping, which you've already seen me do a couple times. The weighting feels good. The steering is amazing still. These tires are hooking up good even though we've got some wet clay. Let's go over here. We don't do this section very often. It's more rock. More just piles of rock that I got from crawler space. Let's start up here. Gonna have to be a little bit more intentional with our lines because there are big holes and gaps in here. See, we're getting that tire under. We got it though. Pop up over the top of this. Start walking our way over. See if we can't hook on this without tipping. And start our climb back up. Oh, the front tire's pushing. I didn't get it hooked. I think if we go right here, we can get it to start climbing. There we go. Oh man, get it, lift. Oh, we rolled it. But yeah, if I could get some cement around some of these obstacles out here, even on this side, and fill in a few of these holes, we could start finding some lines in here like this that we'd want to make repeatable. Because I actually like this with that little curve in it. I don't mind it being undercut a little here either, like having to figure it out how to make it stretch and reach. There we go. I don't know how much of that I did or didn't get because it got a low battery on my phone. But yeah, it would be neat to just kind of get some of these lines that are tough but are doable and cement them in place and make them challenge lines. I know Exocaged has some that he's named that are some challenge lines. I know 2FM's got some pretty good challenge lines, and 24 Yep on his natural area that he goes to. So it'd be pretty cool to have a few that we would kind of use for comparing different trucks or different tires or different even upgrades to a truck. Not to necessarily always pit a truck against other trucks, but pitting a truck against itself in different stages is pretty cool as well. So I definitely see there would be some good, potentially tricky lines right in here to try to get. And it would have to hold the line in order to make it. This thing's got so much clearance. I'm a 24 scale guy, like that's my favorite size. But this thing, just in its capability, has made me a believer. They did a lot right with this truck when they built it. And even being wide isn't wrong necessarily as far as capability goes. It just happens to do with what we have as our gate widths that we use for 18 scale and trying to make this thing work within it. And I think we've got a pretty good solution here, guys. She's driving great, not super tippy because of it. These tires are bigger too, so that's the other thing, running these tall tires. When you're on an angle, it makes it just stick that much further toward the gate. When people are running smaller tires and narrower trucks, I needed something that would get this just a little bit closer to competing. So there you have it. TCRC 1.3 wheels with the Endura brass and the Endura yellow soft. And then I've got the Klingons that are vented on here on the Redcat. Doing pretty good, but we lost our light, so we're going to call that, guys. Have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.